So as you know, I've been playing Monster Hunter now as well, and I was actually going to upload a video earlier, but there's just been so many updates to the gameplay and so forth, which is actually a good thing. And as well, a lot of you are actually curious on what my day is like as well at times when I'm playing different games like this one. For some reason I've been playing this game a lot during nighttime. It's just when I've ever had time to play this, I guess, because you actually need to focus with this game. And because it's nighttime, as you can see, my power was running out with my phone here. And I was doing the Huntathon event, which is kind of, I guess, like a raid where you can fight 5 consecutive enemies and as well a big boss, if that's what you want to say. He drops basically rare items, for the most powerful in this game anyways, the lightning versions of the weapons. Unfortunately, actually during this time I was able to upgrade all of my armor to get 5 element ice attacks, and I decided to upgrade the ice hammer as well. I found actually ever since whatever changes they made, I've been missing a lot with the hammer at times. Things like with a special move as you saw there, or sometimes even just with regular hits, which you'll see later on, but when it does hit, you can usually get a lot of stuns like this. I don't know, something about it seems really satisfying when you knock down big enemies like this. And this is usually how frantic it is when I'm walking around trying to play the game. And going for the hit here, this was kind of cool actually, right in mid-air. And fortunately I was able to defeat the enemy despite the fact that my phone was dying in terms of the battery. My strategy has been the same so far in terms of the weapons. I've been upgrading a variety of them. For example, light bow guns, dual blades, the hammers. I just find every situation kind of benefits with different weapons. For example, the flying enemies, I find the gun is actually better. And actually one cool thing about the update is, originally when you finish these quest lineups, it makes the monster difficulty a lot harder on the map, so you may want to stop actually from progressing, but they actually changed it where there's a mode you can actually reduce the difficulty, so you can actually keep playing the seasons to, I guess, farm enemies. Now during this time it was actually the anniversary event, and a lot of new monsters were introduced like this guy, and funny enough, my first encounter with this one was with random strangers. They apparently updated the radius in terms of how close someone needs to be in order to initiate a group hunt like this, and ever since they changed it, I found myself being able to play with other players a lot, which is fantastic. That's one of the best things in my opinion about these type of games that encourage you to go outside, is cooperating with other players. And as well with this anniversary event, they gave you some free items like zennies, as well as a storage upgrade, since there are new enemies, for example, which means you need to store more parts and all that. And with more new enemies, that means trying to figure out what their patterns are, what's the best way to fight them with what weapon. And with this guy here, I had no clue. This was literally my first battle. He was weak to ice, so I figured I'd try the ice hammer, and I got a little overzealous there and I got hit, but I tried to use my special and hey, great! This guy's actually really weak to blunt hits, it seems like, so I tried again, but nope, a little overzealous. Decided to use the potion and I was like, hey, what's all this flashing? Oops, I'm blind! I had no clue how I didn't get hit here actually. I just kept mashing the button. You can kind of see there when it's flashing red, that means he was going to attack. But again, he started flashing and I figured, okay, dodge it. Nope, that didn't work. Apparently the first 2 flashes this enemy does, it doesn't affect you. The third one you can actually dodge. But either way, I just kept whacking, and fortunately I upgraded my armor to a fairly high level to resist, I guess, that attack. And fortunately, just like that, defeated. It's always a fun experience, I guess, battling new enemies. Now usually after a battle like that, as you can see, my energy wasn't high enough to do a battle, so I was actually early for my martial arts practice here since my peers didn't show up yet, so I figured, okay, I'll wait for this thing to regen, and once I do, I can battle this enemy. And I find this is how I play the game a lot as well, where if I have some kind of downtime, for example, like I'm indoors, or in this case outdoors, but I'm not doing anything at the moment, I usually just wait for my energy to recharge and then I go off and battle a monster here. Just get like a quick whack in, get some resources, and then afterwards I guess it's back to whatever it is that you're doing. And since my peers didn't show up yet, it gave me an excuse to, I guess, battle more monsters. This guy actually was a little tricky because he moves really fast at times, but strong hits like these from the hammer seems to knock it out pretty easily, so that was an easy kill, I guess you could say. And interestingly enough, when I was just waiting, I guess, for the next monster to come, another player was there. I find that's actually more common now because of the radius increase. You never know, you could be, for example, around a neighborhood, for example, or maybe even your own house, and you could be playing with others. And here's the example with the hammer again. Right on the ground, look at that, a complete miss. How do you explain that? But a good thing too, actually, in terms of hunting with other people, this game seems to incentivize you to do that because you actually can get more drops and bonuses when you team up with other people, which is great in my opinion. Because as well, if you have more increased chances of drops, you can actually have more items like these, so you can upgrade your weapons to something a lot stronger. And rain or shine, I walk all the time, as I say, and in this case actually it was kind of fitting because there was another new monster, and this person was a Coral Pukei, if that's how you say it, and its attack is primarily shooting a lot of water at you. That's one thing I find about this game too, is when you're outside, it's kind of difficult to play this, I guess, while you're actually actively walking. At times you'd probably want to, I guess, find a spot like this. I would prefer it if I could actually keep walking like in a lot of the other games, but I guess you can't really do that with this game with how, I guess, action oriented it is. But fortunately my weapons were upgraded fairly high. It was at 7.5. Like with this hammer anyways, it seemed to have did the job very well. Nice drops! Yeah, and during this event they had, like here you can see where they increased the drop rates for a lot of the items, those vibrant gem shards which you need to upgrade your weapons to the strongest level. And you can see the types of drops I was getting. I think I got really lucky. It's the first one, a double drop, and here another double drop, so that was actually great. Normally I'd probably skip these types of matches, but with this new matchmaking system, it's been really fun. Let's see what comes up here. You usually just have to wait for, I guess, a few seconds for people to come on. I believe it matches you with anybody around the world that has the same, I guess, monster currently. Again, I find that to be a great addition to the game, just to increase, I guess, the community aspect. It's always more fun, in my opinion, to play with other players. But again, walking with this game, it's really difficult to play this game while you're actively walking anyways. It's always harder to play when you're actually walking. Let's finish this. I find these matches really fun. It's a great game in my opinion to play, especially when the weather is really nice. But of course, the storage is an issue when you have this many items and enemies to battle. And again, the events just continued. This one was with this Deviljho guy. Apparently there was supposed to be an increased spawn rate. I guess the theory was they're trying to prepare you for some kind of dragon event where your weapons will need to be pretty high, I suppose, in terms of fighting dragons that are only, let's just say, weak to dragon attacks. That's the assumption anyways. I personally, again, haven't played the actual main series, so I'm kind of just going on this game blind, just based on what I see here. And then there was this new season pass, as you can see, where the more enemies and quests that you finish, the more items you can unlock. There's actually a premium mode as well if you want more items, but you can see when you claim the rewards, there goes my bag space. But because of that, I just had to upgrade any weapon, I suppose. I just opted to use this one because I just find for a lot of the dragons, for example, that fly around, I find these type of weapons are easier in terms of battling it. As well, when you do group battles, it's almost like playing those other MMO games. You have, for example, the tanks and the DPS. I've just been more of the DPS role, I guess you could say. And this was the highest level I could get this, I guess, Devil's Madness light bowgun at. And this was actually my first encounter with a 9-star monster. I actually didn't even unlock the 9-star yet myself because I've just been holding back, but you can see there, immediately one teammate goes down. And again, this is kind of like the role you can play anyways. I prefer being in the background and trying to blast away as much as possible. And like with these guys, you want to aim for things like the wings so you can get a knockdown like there. Although keep in mind, the enemy could go after you all of a sudden. And watch what happens here. You see that other guy behind me that's also blasting away? He goes in for the special attack there. It completely misses. Oh no. Are we going to be able to defeat this guy? I believe with the mechanics for these regular enemies, the more players you have, the more buff the monster actually gets. So if someone is severely undergeared, it could end up making the fight a lot more difficult. As you can see, time was running out here. It didn't seem good in terms of being able to defeat this enemy, but last hit, I guess. Even though the timer goes to 0, just to note, you can still attack it like there. I hit it with a special move and just like that. Again, it's really fun just being able to play with other players. So it was actually a fun couple of weeks. I was thinking, okay, that's it. But again, it just continued with the events. Like just this one recently here, actually. I thought, okay, everything's done. I can just relax, look at the wildlife and so forth. But there was more quests. Hey, why not? For the most part, it's just battling regular enemies and just finishing all the quests. I just find storage is a huge issue. Like you can see here, a lot of these items I actually had to just end up selling them. Actually, they introduced that now where when you get rid of the items, you can actually get Zenny for it, which is actually another great addition. It just seems like for this game, they're taking it really seriously in terms of the updates and adjusting things based on player feedback pretty quickly. I'm actually pretty shocked actually at how quickly they're doing it. And here's a funny example actually of just playing with other players. This guy, it seems like he's a new player. I'm overgeared obviously because this is only like a 1-star, but that's a great thing too, just in terms of playing with other players. I like being able to help others like this as well. It encourages them, I guess, to play the game as well, to go outside. And just as another funny example, I bumped into the same player again, and this time I just decided to use the bow. I just wanted to see if I can defeat it with one hit. Again, I'm completely overgeared for this, but it's great being able to help other players in these ways, and just like that, yep, there it goes. At least this game, they incentivize again for you to actually play with other players because you actually get that extra bonus that you can see here with the group hunter rewards. Now the next event, apparently there's an ice event for you to start gearing up, and I actually started to upgrade things like my ice bow and the ice hammer. But other than that, there's so much to do, but it's really fun. A great game in my opinion for those who want to go outside as well.